I want to thank Aura for sponsoring this video. What if I told you the habit that was most impacting my life this year had nothing to do with exercise, strength training, or even learning to flip the perfect protein pancake? The protein pancake probably comes in second though. But the habit that's actually improved my focus, boosted my happiness, and helped me remain consistent with so many other goals and habits this year is reading. Specifically, reading fiction. But before you click away, I know a lot of people in the self-improvement world do not place a lot of value on reading fiction, and I think that's an incredible mistake. So I want to take a few minutes of your time to explain why reading is so valuable and how just a few easy habits can drastically improve how much you're able to read. Here we go. Researchers from Emory University found that reading fiction doesn't just let us imagine ourselves in the life of another person, but the immersion is actually so intense, our brain begins to respond as if we're the ones seeing, hearing, and smelling the world of the story. And this effect is so powerful, it not only takes us out of our lives for a moment, but the break creates a meaningful relief from our own stress and anxieties. So much so that even just 10 minutes of reading for pleasure is one of the most effective ways to reduce stress.
One thing that I've kind of observed about myself is that there's a difference between relaxing and resting. And so I can chill with a show and my brain's turned off, I'm not trying, I'm not engaging, but I come away from it not feeling restored. But there are other things that I do, like reading, where I come away from it feeling, all right, I'm ready for the next thing now. And since I feel that way with reading, it's just the thing that I'm gonna choose more often.
This is Merphy Napier, and she's really into reading. In fact, she has a whole channel dedicated to talking about books, covering everything from classics to fantasy to mangas. So I wanted to ask Merphy what habits help her to read as much as she does, but when I edited this video, what I actually did was just rave a bunch about how good I thought Stephen King's Revival was.
Great Bradbury story, but then you get to the end and it is dark and sad and terrible.
Sorry about that, Merphy.
One thing that's been great for me and that I've noticed has helped me to read a lot more is when I read up about blue lights and how that affects your sleep, how the lights that you get from your computers or your TVs or your phone, that suppresses your natural melatonin. And so having 30 minutes away from blue lights before bed will naturally help you get a better sleep. And I'm a mom, so I need better sleep. So I stopped doing that. And 30 minutes before I wanted to go to sleep, I just put all screens away. I put them on the other side of the room, and I just spent 30 minutes with a book before I went to bed. And the amount of difference that makes, how much that adds up, just 30 minutes a day, 7 days a week, is incredible how quickly you can get through a book like that.
I'm not gonna lie, when I started trying to spend 30 minutes reading before bed, it wasn't an easy switch. Given the choice between staring into the depths of human cruelty with Blood Meridian or seeing who gets eliminated on F-Boy Island, I would always pick F-Boy Island and still end up witnessing the depths of human cruelty.
I'm gonna have to end this relationship.
In order to make a new habit stick, you have to break it into 4 components: the cue, craving, response, and reward. While I was leaving the book beside my bed to cue the behavior I wanted, it wasn't what I was craving to do. And the one change that actually made me more likely to pick up a book at the end of the day is if I had already taken time to invest myself in the story beforehand.
One thing that has really worked for me is trying to get a book in 2 copies, so I'm listening to the audiobook through the day, and that has made me so much more likely to actually pick up the hard copy and read it.
Yes.
I don't know if you're the same way.
Yes, that's exactly how I am. That's exactly it. I've noticed that almost every book that I want to read, I can either get the ebook or audiobook or physical from the library. And so if I can get something from the library, or if I can get them all from the library and then maybe just own one, so I'm only buying a book once, but I'm still getting a lot of formats. And that way, all throughout my day, no matter what I'm doing, if I'm driving, if I'm doing dishes, if I do have some downtime, if I just feel like scrolling on my phone, but I know that Twitter makes me unhappy, so I scroll on my book instead. You know what I mean? No matter what, I can just dip in and out of that book, no matter what. And because Amazon has WhisperSync, it can if I'm reading on my ebook, then it can pick up the audiobook exactly where I left off, and that sort of thing. So it makes it a lot easier, and I feel that I'm more immersed in the book, so I'm reading more, and I'm enjoying the story more, and I'm getting through it faster, and just generally, I'm happier. It's great. I love it.
Pairing the hard copy of a book with an audio copy hasn't just made me more likely to read before bed, though. In fact, listening to an audiobook has become the perfect incentive that makes me crave other habits like going for a walk, working out, or meal prepping for the week. Listening to the book becomes this immediate reward that makes these habits enjoyable, so I'm less likely to put them off and more likely to stay consistent. In my experience, the best two apps for finding an audiobook to pair with a hard copy is, well, Audible for one, but recently I found a lot of value with the app Libby as well. Libby allows you to borrow any audio or ebook from your local library and download it to your phone. While a great audiobook can improve anything from exercising to house cleaning, this incentive really only works if you're enjoying the book you're reading. And trying to slog through a book I'm not engaged with is usually how I find myself back into a reading slump.
How often would you say you bail on a book?
Oh my goodness. Just yesterday, I read a page and a half and I quit. Yeah, I feel like whether it's nonfiction or fiction, you can tell pretty quickly if the author has something to say to you or if they're just kind of talking to themselves, and the truth is not every book, you can't like every book. It just can't be done. And it's true that the ending might be incredible, but it also might suck. So let's just try something else. Actually, another thing that really works, because I've already said this, but I'll say it again because I think the world needs to hear it more. Scrolling is so easy to chill with, but it generally just makes me unhappy. So I feel like one really great thing for me is if I have a book that I really want to challenge me or to teach me something or, something like that requires a lot of me, I like to make that one my 30 minutes before bed book. And then if I have a book that's just easy, that's like candy, I like to make that an ebook. So if I feel just brain dead and I just need to chill for 10 minutes and not exert myself, being able to choose a book that I know I'll get genuine, superficial enjoyment out of on my phone, so I still get that sensation of just zoning out on a phone, but it's something that actually makes me happy, that has been awesome for me.
And finally, the last change that's incredibly simple to adopt is I decided to take the books I'd been meaning to read off of my shelf and to stack them into a to-be-read pile on my coffee table. So each time I walk by it, there's this subtle motivation to finish the book I'm working on so I can get started with the next one.
Do you have books in a queue though?
Oh yeah.
Because I find that motivates me a little bit too, just seeing the books I want to get to next.
That's so true. Yeah. Absolutely, because I'm currently reading this 900-page brick that is amazing, and I love it, and I don't want to stop. But then I'm looking at that 300-page book that I have lined up for next, and I'm like, oh, I really want that one too. So yeah, it definitely does. It makes me excited to finish this, even though I'm loving it, because the next one's gonna be great too.
I want to thank Merphy for making the time to chat with me. If you are looking to get back into the habit of reading and are looking for some great recommendations, I would strongly encourage you to check out her channel. And if you want to know what books I've really enjoyed, I'm going to talk about them right after I mention the sponsor of today's video, Aura. Aura is an all-in-one digital security system that protects you against identity theft, monitors your accounts for fraud, monitors your password, while also being a VPN. Identity theft is one of the fastest growing crimes in America, and as someone who's lived through someone stealing my bank information, it's a hassle you don't want to go through. And I was really lucky because I caught the problem as soon as it happened, but even still, it was an incredibly stressful situation. Aura constantly monitors the dark web, looking for your emails, passwords, social security numbers, and they will send you an alert to your email or phone as soon as they find anything. The same goes for any suspicious lines of credit or loans that are taken out in your name. Their VPN allows you to browse the internet while keeping your history and information safe and encrypted. Oh, and I didn't mention, but they also protect against viruses and malware too. Right now, Aura is offering our audience a 14-day free trial so you can protect yourself from America's fastest growing crime. Even if you decide not to keep it, you will find out if there's been any suspicious activity around your personal information, and you can take the steps to protect yourself against it. So I would definitely recommend you set up your 14-day free trial through the link below. Thank you for sponsoring this video, Aura, and if you stuck around to hear some book recommendations, I will start with one I have talked about before, but that is The Name of the Wind by Patrick Rothfuss. I think the sequel to this book is phenomenal as well, A Wise Man's Fear, though fair warning if this is something you care about, it doesn't look like the third book is anywhere in sight. The Dispossessed by Ursula K. Le Guin, if you like science fiction that's both socially and politically focused. Blood Meridian, which I just finished, is both horrible and amazing at the same time. And yeah, Revival by Stephen King. If you are looking for something really spooky that makes you feel bad at the end, You should definitely check that one out. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed this topic and would like us to cover more stuff outside of our usual fitness topics, please let us know in the comments. And if you prefer we just stick to fitness, that's cool too. Let us know that. Either way, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.